Hello ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? Welcome back to Force Strategy Gaming. Today we're going to be taking a look at a Protoss strategy. Now in this particular video, the player we're focusing on here is Nani, and the opponent here is Sock. So this is going to be a Protoss versus Protoss strategy. And what we are going to be looking at in particular is just the matchup and how to deal with a Protoss opponent who goes for fast DT. Especially if you go for a 4-gate. Now that's a major concern instantly because you're going to say, if I'm 4-gating, well I don't have a robo and I can't see what's going on. But the idea is spotting the fact that they're going for the fast DT, dropping that robo, and then protecting the robo. And these are kind of the three primary things. Now first off, let's just talk about just the matchup in general. I mean, PvP is so often just 4-gate versus 4-gate, and it's just been that way for a while now. I mean, if you look at, if I go through replays of PvP matchups, almost always the games are anywhere between 8 and 12 minutes, and that's almost it. Very rarely do I see a mirror matchup between two Protoss players that ends up much later than that, simply because if one Protoss player 4-gates and the other one tries to go for a fast expand or even a robo build, a lot of times if the 4-gater knows what they're doing, they can overcome and overpower the person who went for something other. So, the 4-gate, well, if you don't really know much about it, it's definitely a build you should become familiar with as a Protoss player. Let me just talk about the opening build order very quick before we get into this specific scenario of 4-gating against someone who has gone for fast DT. So, the opener as a 4-gate is going to look like this. 9 Pylon, 12 Gateway, 14 Assimilator, 17 Cybernetics Core. Now your first 2 Chrono Boosts are going to be used on probes. After that, all additional Chrono Boosts are being used on your Warp Gate research. Now at 19 supply, you're getting a second Gateway. And then at 22 supply, come in your 2 additional gateways, putting you at 4. Now, as you can see, I'm going to pause right here. You can see the Warp Gate research has just finished, and we are at about 5:30, and that is perfect. That's exactly how it should look. So again, let me go over that one more time. It's 9 Pylon, 12 Gateway, 14 Assimilator, 17 Cybernetics Core, 19 is your second Gateway. Now, 20 supply, once that Cybernetics Core finishes, you start your Warp Gate research, you Chrono Boost that right away. Once more, those first 2 Chrono Boosts are on probes. All additional Chrono Boosts are on that Warp Gate research. 22 supplies when these 2 additional gateways come out. Now, as I just mentioned, it is 5:30. The Warp Gate research has just finished, and this is like perfect. Now, something else to note too is you do want to stop probe production for this specific build at 22 supply. And realize with most, especially macro-focused builds, this would not be the case. You don't ever really cut probes. But in a 4-gate for a strong aggressive push, especially in PvP, cutting probes at 22 supply is very common. So, what am I talking about? If you're doing it ideally, the Warp Gate research will finish at 5:30, but that is at the exact same time, pretty much, relatively, that the Dark Shrine is going to be started if your Protoss opponent is going for fast DT. So what you need to be certain that you do is with this push that you are moving in as soon as you can. So 5:30, the Warp Gate research finishes, turn over your Warp Gates, and then start your aggression right away. You can see in anticipation bringing out that probe before the 5:30 mark so that you are able to drop those proxy pylons, and here comes the push. Now I'm going to slow it down right now, and we're going to take a look at what does Nani see and what is he doing. Nani is pushing into the base. He sees, this is kind of odd. Another gateway's coming in, and there aren't really a lot of units. So already he's wondering what's going on, but he's waiting until he actually sees an engagement before he makes any deciding factors. So he's pushing in. He says, what's going on? There aren't a lot of units. The 4th gateway isn't even in yet. It's just coming in. There's something funny happening right now. And realizing that, instantly he drops his robo, but he wants to check. We're going to see him pull around these stalkers, and he's looking for what he expects, and bam, there it is, spotting that Dark Shrine right now. He's now fully aware of that. Now, again, realize what happened. Pushed in after the 4-gate, seeing not a lot of army, 4th gateway not even finished, so there's not a lot of defense. The 4th gateway isn't finished. Unless your Protoss opponent's really bad, which obviously Sock isn't, then this means he's doing something else. And that something else, what Nani expected, was that Dark Shrine. So he instantly dropped that robo, he held off on an additional warp in, he dropped that robo, and then he scouted around for it. You want to be certain if at all possible. If that's in the main base of the person you're attacking, you want to be certain of it. Now, here's the next step. Dark Shrine is spotted. Now, It's about to finish. What am I going to do? I'm expecting a proxy pylon around my base. I'm expecting them to hit me sometime soon. So the next step is I need to protect my robo. So what are we going to see Nani is going to do? Look at this, dropping pylons all the way around his robo. This will make it so that even if some DT get in the base, which they inevitably will because you're going to expect that counterattack, even if they get into your main base, you have these buffer of buildings protecting it, buying you just enough time to get out that observer. So we can see the damage is being done over here, but here comes the counterattack with those DT. There they are right now, moving into the main, but instantly Sock realizes, crap, I can't even get to that robo. I won't be able to knock it down before an observer comes into play, so it's GG, and Sock just goes ahead and gives up. So again, what did we look at? What was the primary focus? Well, we looked at kind of ideally executing a 4-gate, but the other thing was when you push into your Protoss opponent's base, if you see that they only have 3 gateways and one's just coming in and their army is relatively lackluster compared to yours, you know that something else is going on instinctively. Again, Nani expected that Dark Shrine, so he dropped the robo. Then once confirming that Dark Shrine was there, he protected the robo with those pylons, because at this point in the game, it would become a base trade, and if you can protect that robo and get out one observer, then that's it. You win the game. So there you go, guys. Hopefully you have enjoyed this. Let's take one, again, quick look at kind of the ideal 4-gate and how to perform it. It is 9 Pylon, 12 Gateway, 14 Assimilator, 17 Cybernetics Core. Again, those first 2 Chrono Boost being used on probes. Now 19 supply is that second Gateway, 20 supply. Once that Cybernetics Core finishes, you start the Warp Gate research, then all additional Chrono Boost will be used on that. 22 supply, you cut probe production, you come out with your 2 additional gateways, and then you get ready to push. If Chrono Boosted all the way through, that Warp Gate research should finish at 5:30. Pushing into the opponent's base, again, we saw Nani spotting that low army, spotting the only 3 gateways were in, and expecting that Dark Shrine. He dropped the robo, protected that robo once he verified that Dark Shrine was there, and that's what allowed him to win the game. So again, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you have enjoyed this. If you did, please go ahead and subscribe to our channel. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Keep watching and keep owning.